Okay guys, Apexis here again, coming at you from Sydney, Australia. As you probably guessed by the title of this video, my girlfriend, who I'm pretty sure you can see right now, is riding Haley for the first time. Haley is my other bike. She's a Hyosung GT 650. My girlfriend has ridden before, but it's a bit of a step up for her. So her previous bike was a Yamaha R15. It was a 150cc sports bike, which she's recently sold, and now jumped on Haley to take her for a spin and see how she likes it. Hopefully it'll all go well. She does have most of her gear on. The dog, we found out today, actually chewed her gloves. So she doesn't have any gloves on, and she is in sort of protective jeans, but hasn't been able to find boots of her size yet. So we're going to be riding nice and easy today, just to keep her nice and comfortable. She does know how to ride. She's still on her provisionals. I've explained in earlier videos that in Australia we have 3 sort of levels of licensing: a learner, provisional 1, provisional 2, and then open class. As you can see, she does know how to ride. She's just a little nervous because it's a much bigger bike than she's used to. So this is her first sort of voyage out on the road. She has ridden it before, but mainly just in back streets, car parks, things like that. This is the first time she's actually taken her out on the road. She's actually quite an okay rider. She just tends to get in her own way, in that she overthinks things and freaks out, and idiots like that scare her. She was super excited about this ride, but also super nervous, so she didn't want to admit it. In the elevator, her hands were shaking, and I could see that she was nervous and excited at the same time. She's been begging me to ride Haley for so long now. I don't like where she's staying in terms of lane choice, and that she's sitting in that truck's blind spot, but I'm not going to give her too much by way of feedback today. I don't want to overwhelm her. Like I said, she tends to overthink things. She's a pretty good rider in terms of skill level, but she doesn't have that confidence yet, and that leads into her making some slight mistakes. It is her first time on the road with Haley, so I will forgive the whole distancing thing. I will tell her later, she'll probably buffer a little bit better. Probably choose where she is in the lane a little bit better and not sit in people's blind spots, but for now I just sort of let her do her own thing and point things out in the video to her later. See what I mean? Look at this guy in his lane. So what I mean by defensive riding, guys, for example, I'll now kind of try to shield her from this guy. It does put myself in a little bit of risk, but I'm a little bit more adept at handling those sort of situations. So once I'll make myself very big and very kind of plain and obvious to see, and hopefully people will keep away from me, which in turn will keep them further away from her. So those of you that haven't met Haley, I have recorded a previous vlog on Haley. I just don't know if I'm going to be putting up that video first or this one. So for those of you that haven't met Haley, Haley is a 2015 Hyosung GT 650R. Very nice bike. I know that these bikes actually get a lot of flack from the riding community because they're Korean bikes and they're supposed to be the poor man's bike and poor man's Porsche, or is what they sometimes refer to, and people are a little bit dismissive of them, saying they're not a real bike and they break all the time and they're not very reliable. I've had this bike for quite a while, and the 650, I've had it for quite a while. Got it mainly for commuting because Rachel gets very hot, and in Sydney when we have really hot weather it becomes almost impossible to ride. But yeah, so she rides like a dream. She's got about 7,000 kilometers on her. Never had a problem with it, never had an issue with anything. The only upgrades really that are on Haley is the Yoshimura slip-on exhaust. That's the C3 carbon. Sounds real good, Eleanor, actually. this isn't the best road to be on for her first ride, nor is it the best time of day. We're actually going to watch a movie. We're going to watch the new Deadpool movie that came out a couple of days ago. Well, by the time this video goes up, it'll be about a week or so ago, maybe a couple of weeks. I'm going to go in there because I need fuel. We're going to go into the server. I need fuel. Don't stress. You're doing well. So she can reach the ground. She can flat foot it on one side if she really wanted to. It's just my only concern is a little bit heavy for her. And guys, I'm just going to put some fuel in because I don't want to pull it Adrian Nickelodeon and run out of fuel. See you guys in a sec. There we go. And she just took off without me. Holy shit, this bike is quick. Woo-wee. Someone was telling me that apparently in the States you guys don't have as high octane fuels as we do here. So in Australia anyway, so we've got sort of 91 octane fuel, and it's got I think up to 10% ethanol, which I've never put in any vehicle I've ever owned. We've got 95, which is considered your like premium, and then we've got your 98 octane fuel, which is your sort of ultra, or Caltex calls it the Vortex, BP calls it BP Ultimate, things like that. So yeah, nothing but 98 goes into both my bikes. I don't know, just helps them run cleaner, I guess. But anyway, back to my girlfriend and Haley. I guess now would be a good time to explain how she got into riding. I rode actually before we even met, but when we met, I had wrecked the bike that I had at the time, and I had been on a bike. I was busy with work, and I don't know, just other things kind of got in the way, and I stopped riding for about 6 or 7 months, and I was actually when we met. And then after we had been together for a while, I told her, you know, I'm gonna, you know, I ride motorbikes and I'm gonna buy another motorbike. And then at first she was completely against it. She was like, no, it's too dangerous, and you know, I don't want you to kill yourself, and so on and so forth. And I said, look, I've ridden bikes all my life. It's you know, it's a passion of mine. Kind of regardless of what you say, I'm gonna get a motorbike. And then she was trying to dissuade me and, you know, put her foot down. So she said, fine, well, if you get one, I'm going to get my license. To which I said, okay, great, let's go, let's book it in. And I think she got a bit flustered that I called her bluff, and then we booked her in to get her learner's permit. And then as the day grew closer and closer, she got both nervous and excited. And then since then, after she jumped on a bike, she absolutely fell in love with it. She caught the bug, and that's the beauty about motorbikes. She went from, you know, being completely against them and saying they're too dangerous and nobody should ride motorbikes and things like that, to, you know, having the bug and wanting to ride all the time. So her first bike, like I mentioned before, was Yamaha R15, which we sold fairly recently. She was going to upgrade to an R3. We even had she test drove it. We even had put a deposit with that particular dealer for an R3. Then some things fell through. We had a bit of a falling out with the dealer. We said we don't want the bike anymore, and then we just kind of fell by the wayside. We got a bit busy, some expenses and things came up, and I figured I had 2 bikes anyway. So she hasn't ridden in quite a while, and she bugged me for a while saying, oh, let me ride Haley, let me ride Haley, let me ride Haley. I gotta be honest, I was against it at first. I thought it was too much bike for her. I mean, I know it's only a 650, but it's quite big, it's bulky, it's heavy. You guys can see it there anyway. It's got, like, you know, decent speed, decent power, but my main concern was the weight. So if she topples it over, she's going to get stuck. If she tries to reverse somewhere and, or, you know, goes the wrong way, tries to do a U-turn, those sorts of things, that she'd get stuck. But so I let her ride it just as a test run, sort of, you know, the back streets near our place, and at a quiet car park. I took her down to where it was nice and empty, let her get her bearings, and she seemed okay. So yeah, that's how she got into motorcycling, and she hasn't looked back since. And now she's confident enough to take Haley out on the main road. We're going to see a movie. So guys, any of you guys that have girlfriends that perhaps don't like them riding, or or against it, get them to try it out for themselves. You might get lucky. You might end up like me, have a girlfriend who appreciates the ride and appreciates the passion for the motorbike. And, you know, rather than having to find an excuse as to why to go riding and say, oh, sorry, babe, I can't hang out with you today, I've got to go riding, or, you know, having the girlfriend nag you, say, oh, you're always going out riding with your friends, you never have spent any time with me. Well, this is two birds with one stone. You can go out riding and spend time with your girlfriend as well. So it's kind of a win-win, to be honest. So you get to ride around on your motorbike and you're spending time together. And she enjoys it. So yeah, no more needing to make excuses of like, oh, I want to go for a ride. Now it's, hey, let's go for a ride. And we'll both go. She still won't let me double her, by the way. She says she likes it more when she's in control. She doesn't like the feeling of helplessness that she'd get from being on the back of a bike. I think it's a bit of a fear thing. I think she's scared of the bigger bike as well, and scared that I might do something stupid, which I wouldn't. I would never do anything stupid if I had a not that I would never do anything stupid on a motorbike. I would never do anything stupid if I had a passenger on the back, especially one that was kind of first time and still scared. But she'll come around, and when she does, I'll be real easy and real smooth, and hopefully she'll see it's not that bad being on the back of a motorcycle. I mean, I can understand where she's coming from. If I'd much rather be riding a motorcycle than being a passenger on a motorcycle, and she just feels a bit helpless when she doesn't have control. Bit of a control freak. Red flag, fellas, red flag. No, I'm just playing. So as you can see, guys, operating temperature for Rachel, when you're in these streets and these backstreets, hovers anywhere between 90 to 105 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it's a ton, and it's just there. I am squidding again today. It's very hot. I know. I do have protective pants on, but it's just, I'm in a t-shirt. You're very hot. Haha, see what I did there? Bam 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 bam. I was kind of hoping to avoid this car park, and you guys will see why in a sec. Those of you wondering, that squeaking's coming from Hayley. She's got a bit of a sheen on her back brakes, and I need to take her out and do some e-brakes to rough them up a bit, because they're still over 70% on the actual brakes. It's just they've when you do a lot of sort of light braking, or maybe sometimes your foot rests on the rear brake, which it shouldn't. It kind of makes a kind of a gloss on the brake disc, and yeah, that's where that sound is coming from. She's using my trick. You park here, I'll go around. Dun, da, 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 la, 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 la. La, 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 la. Oh, my balls. How do I get back to that place where we came in? I think it's this way. Jeez, this bike is hot. Bang, bang, bang. Kawasaki Ninja. Woo, it's hot. Alright guys, we're gonna go watch the movie. I'll see you when we get back. Peace. We've just finished watching Deadpool. I guess by the time this video goes up, most of you guys that were gonna see it will have seen it. First thoughts, it was a good movie. It wasn't a bad movie. It had its funny moments. I wouldn't say it was like an amazing movie. And there were moments when I laughed, and to be honest, it was just another sort of hero movie, except this time they actually kill people rather than just tie them up and get them to the police or some shit. It's an origin story. the bad guy takes his girl, he saves his girl, kisses her, happy ending, really. But look, all in all, decent movie. I wouldn't say it was a waste of time watching it. I was excited for it. I was really excited for it. I'm not disappointed, but it's just, yeah, same old. Now, those of you that saw that will probably yell at me for jumping into that car's sort of way, but again, like I said before, it's more trying to create a gap for me. She's not a gap for her to sort of be safe in. She's not confident enough in the bike that she can handle someone cutting her off just yet, I don't think, and it was just a dangerous thing for that lady to do. Sure, it was more dangerous me putting myself in front of her, but let's face it, guys, I'm sure any of you out there with a girlfriend are the same. I'd much rather the lady hits me or whatever and stops than hitting her. So sure, it's a little bit more dangerous for me to put myself in that position to try and sort of make her aware that she shouldn't come into the lane, but once again, I'd rather she hit me than she hit her. So you do what you gotta do, I guess. Holy sh!